my side of the podcast here. So I apologize if there's been some in and outs on the video. My internet apparently isn't the greatest.
Yeah,
But
where the fuck are you, Joe?
I am in Salt Lake City, Utah. The family and I have come up here for a super social distancing, a little bit of work, but we turned it into a vacation in the time of quarantine, which just means we made sure we were in a super sanitized and clean Airbnb, and don't let the kids leave it. And but I've got a number of crazy stories that have happened and occurred in my time in Salt Lake, and the first one is concerning the Airbnb. So
man.
I was texting you guys about this, but so Heather, my wife, and my kids have never Airbnb'd before, and quite honestly, I've only done it a couple times, and it's usually been a pretty positive experience. So we do an 11-hour drive because, like I said, super quarantining this little slice of life, and we rent a car and we drive up instead of flying and all that. So it's an 11-hour drive from where we're at, going through the desert, We're doing it in one shot, and we finally get up to Salt Lake City.
Did you really do it? Why one shot? Just because you can?
It's a 10-hour drive. It's just a day. It's fine.
I mean, how many times?
And again, we're not wanting to stay in hotels or anything.
I know.
We're trying to just
I know.
Do it as good as we can and as safe as we can.
As safe as you can.
We are slathered in sanitizer and washing, and we're wearing our masks and going through country where people are not wearing their masks, and so basically no stops. There's no fun on the drive up.
Yeah,
and
but it's beautiful. I'm sure beautiful sights.
Yeah. Once you get through Vegas and you get through into there's this little corner of Arizona you go through on the 15, where the land just changes. It's amazing. And you get into St. George, Utah, and you start heading up. You get to basically watch a time lapse of America's great land go from shitty desert to like beautiful mountains and trees and greens, and it's just fun watching the slow change.
Yeah.
But we get to Salt Lake at like 10:30, 11 p.m. We get to our Airbnb, and we're like excited. All the pictures were great on the old internet. It's a 5-star with 5 reviews, great ratings. The pictures are awesome. It's kind of like an older, let's say, mid-century money or home that probably came from money. And we get in, and the first thing that hits us is the smell. And the smell is one that I would call mid-century musty old person, which you get over. You're like, it's an old house. We're fine. Sure, it's maybe giving us a little bit of a headache, but we're just going to assume this smell is one of character and history.
What do you think it was? Like, it was just like mildew and just like an old house?
Yeah, it's just like that old house smell, right? And that's foreshadowing to it might have been a little bit more as well. So the family goes into full Goonies mode, right? You get into a place and you're like, I need to explore every nook and cranny. I want to see everything. There's an upstairs, there's a downstairs, there's rooms here, there's rooms there.
So exciting.
And you're seeing how they decorated it, and oh my gosh, this kitchen isn't like our kitchen. This is ooh. And we start looking around. I go left. I go to the left. Heather and the kids go to the right, and we all start like just kind of looking around. I'm dealing with the smell, and then all of a sudden I hear a Joe!
Oh
no! I was like, okay, what's going on? And I go downstairs.
What are you thinking at this point? Are you thinking like rat or bug or something like?
I'm thinking maybe it's not clean, which it wasn't as clean as we might expect. By the way, we're still masks, gloves, everything, because we're just being super cautious with everything. We actually have our sanitizer and our wipes, and we're gonna re-clean the place anyways, which Heather is doing every step of the way. And so I go downstairs. I'm like, what? She goes, look. And then down by the bed, like right next to it, like behind the nightstand, was a discarded box of Magnum condoms. just kicking it there, like a roach would, but not. It's more like, and it was empty, so somebody had a good couple of days.
Damn, yeah.
Or made a really cool YouTube video. I don't know. The box was there. And
we're going to try to fit these Magnum condoms completely over the bed like a comforter.
So I see it. I'm like, oh, that's That's unfortunate that you found that with the kids, but it is what it is. You know, we talk to them about everything. They're not super shocked. And I'm like, look, babe, it's an Airbnb. It's not a hotel. This is somebody's home. So, like, people live here. Maybe it's just a mistake. It was something that they missed.
Yeah, and you're bound to miss a box of condoms. Just, you know, you're bound to miss something like that. That's okay.
Yeah. You're a box of Magnum condoms is something that is typically overlooked in most living situations.
Absolutely. When I found my first box
By the
of
way,
Magnum
to
condoms
reiterate, it's
my
10
in my parents' room, I remember thinking, "Well, what is this?" But then after I talked to my parents about it, I learned that sometimes you just overlook the box of Magnums. That's all.
Sometimes you overlook the box of Magnums. One time I was brought into the principal's office when I was in 4th grade for throwing snowballs on the playground. And I couldn't concentrate because there was a discarded box of Magnum condoms just next to the wastebasket. And I was like, that's weird. This is something that probably shouldn't be in this situation. But then I remembered what my parents taught me, and it was sometimes you overlook the discarded box of Magnum condoms.
You know what? That very quickly reminds me of the time that we were rehearsing for our first Holy Communion at school. And we were in the church, and there's a wastebasket in the church. All right, whatever. Anyway, box of Magnum condoms.
Okay,
that's. I mean, honestly, but let's be
reiteration.
honest. Like, you find a box of Magnum condoms in an Airbnb, and you're like, okay, well, this sucks because fucking clean this place. And second of all, okay, yes, other people use these places. This is someone's house. You know, okay,
other people that might be a little bit more well endowed than me. Sorry, honey.
And they're rubbing it in my face. But yeah, it's really.
And now I think she's thinking about it the entire time.
Why don't we have Magnum condoms? But yeah, I mean, but it's okay, but it's gross, and it's like it makes you think about things you don't want to think about when you're in a place where you're like, this is my place for the next 3 days or whatever.
Yeah, it's like it basically elicits visions of the ghost of like Christmas past, but the Christmas past visions that you're getting of that ghost are just some seedy guy that's just running around.
Yeah,
I got my Magnum condom. The things I did here.
Right.
And so that's in your mind, but then you also have your kids next to you, and any weird situation or any possibly off-putting moment when your kids are next to you amplifies it by 100. You're like, God, and you get to put on the end of the sentence, and my kids were there. And that just takes a 7 to a 10 every time. So, and again, reiteration, it's 10:30. It's a long time. So I'm willing to let almost anything go. I'm like, babe, it's fine. It's an Airbnb. We got to get to bed. I guarantee we're fine. So we get that to pass, and I think I get her to the point where she's like, okay, we can make this work. And again, first Airbnb, very nervous. So we go upstairs and we start cleaning and looking around a little more, and then we go into the bathroom, and she pulls out the drawer, and there's like black hair everywhere. There's used razors. There's a used shower cap. There's a brush just filled with hair. There's this scope package that has discarded like red sticky residue all over it.
And here's
the
thing,
I mean mouthwash.
Really quick, if you've never been to an Airbnb, it's like to just give you a very quick overview. It's someone's house that they have turned into essentially like a bed and breakfast, a place where you can stay.
A mini rental property.
Right. You can stay there like a hotel for a couple of days. And when they do that, or sometimes it's an extended stay, whatever. There's a lot of options. But but generally when you stay at an Airbnb, there are things that are understood. Like number one, the place is cleaned completely like
Spotless.
a hotel room, but the whole place is. So they usually hire like deep cleaners to get in there and just clean everything, dishes, drawers, make sure there isn't fucking hair in the brushes, make sure there isn't brushes. You don't want to leave brushes there because anything you leave in an Airbnb is going to be used. So you don't want to leave things like that. So when you go into an Airbnb, especially one like Joe was saying, which is established as like a very well, a lot of times the criteria of an Airbnb you choose, you make sure there's a lot of reviews and they're good reviews and there's like it's a good place that people liked and it's a good location and shit. And there's just an understanding that when you go to an Airbnb for the first time, it will be clean. So the fact that you found a box of condoms and now it's like you're looking through drawers and it's just gross shit everywhere. It's like, okay, what's going on now? This is not okay.
Yeah. So the gross stuff, again, I was like, oh, man, they forgot to clean these drawers, babe. I'm so sorry. Like, there's the Magnum condom box in the gross drawers. Now, I'm talking about
Let's just go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm about to present you guys with a trifecta of the things that made us leave this place. And the gross drawers, they really were gross. It's like you don't want to see discarded remnants of human in the thing that you're about to frequent for a week plus. And that's not even on the trifecta. That's an extra little tidbit of descriptive je ne sais quoi that I gave you to let you know that this place was stinky and it was gross. But the Magnum condoms were step 1 of step 3. Step 2,
that was just the tip of the penis.
A little bit. That was just the tip of the leaky cauldron. The sneaky penis. So you start exploring nooks and crannies when you find things that are out in the open. So we're like, well, we got to use these drawers and all these things. So we go into the master bedroom, and there's a nightstand right next to it. So we're like, naturally, let's just open the drawer. We open one. There's iPod headphones, somebody's personal iPod headphones that were just there. Like, okay, that's weird. Somebody forgot those. Open another one, and it's like a charger. And then we open the third thing, and it is those plastic tubs of trail mix that are like a gallon big?
Yeah.
It's one of those, but it's empty. There's no trail mix in it. No, it's not empty. It's filled with all of the pot smoking paraphernalia that one might expect in a 1990s teenager's room. There are rolling papers, there's a bong, there are I would say 7/8 smoked blunts that are just gross and nasty and have human stuff all over them. It's filled to the brim, and on top of it is an ashtray with used toothpicks and residue in it. And my wife is a little bit more on the conservative side concerning some of that stuff. And we're also in Utah, which is very much on the conservative side, and it's super illegal. So now we're in a place where that stuff is not supposed to be, and it's also right next to the bed. And it's not like your friend in LA or your friend elsewhere in Colorado that has pristine looking stuff. Like I said, this is like you were a teenager and you're hiding it from your parents, and it's nasty and it's used and it's there and it's right next to the bed where you're going to put your head to sleep.
Does it seem like it was like someone like this was here? This was like this is part of the house? Or does it seem like, I mean, I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but
I have a theory.
Okay.
I have a theory. I'll get to that.
But
so
like,
again,
just to clear it up, you found a big plastic container next to the bed.
Yeah.
Was it in something, or was it just there?
It was in the nightstand right next to the bed.
So you open the nightstand, and inside is this big container full of gross shit. And there was an ashtray on top of it, and it's just got like, oh, wow.
Yeah. It was like, dude, like I said, it wasn't the pristine version of like your friend that's like the wine connoisseur version of somebody that smokes weed and has all the nice stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And like it's clean and it's properly taken care of. This was the 1993 video that the Dare cop would come in and show the class about how gross and dirty smoking weed is and drugs are and how it's going to ruin your life. Like it was the stereotypical like parents' nightmare version of weed. And so I get through that and I'm like,
really quick, was there any usable stuff in there?
I think there was, except for, like I said, it was next to the nastiest, like, should have been discarded blunts, but this guy was like, I'm going to get, like, 7 more puffs out of this. I'm going to get 7 or 8. I'm going to save it for later. But, like, he couldn't even light it because it would have been, like, inside of his teeth.
Gross.
To be able to use it. Just nasty. So, again, Heather's like, she's out. She's out of it. But I'm asserting, like, we're going to be fine. It's not crazy.
We
Let's not
could
freak
just
out in
put
front of
it
the
back
kids
in the
about it. I don't want
cupboard.
them to have.
Close
What's
it.
that?
Put it back in
Yeah,
the cupboard and close it.
Secretly in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh man, but it's so. This is not okay. This is not okay. We should probably leave, but it's also really late. Maybe this is something we can do in the morning. So I'm like still kind of leaning to like, maybe we can get through this. We can just go to bed. And by the way, Heather is just like mad cleaning while going through all this. She's just Lysol wipes everywhere. We're doing their job for them. She's like,
And she's probably disgusted while it's happening. She's probably so
right. And
grossed out.
Truthfully, I'm disgusted too, but I'm being 1980s comedy road trip movie dad, just trying to like get through it.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
It's just let's like I don't want to have the kids get a complex about this stuff. It's a learning situation. Let's just make sure we're not freaking out about it because it's not crazy. Let's teach them. And so she's out, but she's not asserting her will quite yet. But she's out. And I'm like, okay, two things real bad. There's the gross stuff in the bathroom as well. Other random gross things here and there all around. There's the smell. We're gonna get through this. And then we go to the closet area where there's built-in drawers in the wall, and we're like, okay, let's just double check that there's nothing anywhere. There's some sneaky Crocs or some sneaky Ugg Crocs, like fancy furry slippers in one part of the closet. I'm like, oh, somebody forgot those. That sucks for them. Weird. What a weird thing to forget. People love those.
You should keep
and then
them.
We open a drawer. Yeah. And then we open a drawer. And when this is the drawer where, our clothes are going to go for the week. And we look in, and there is a plastic, like Ralph's or Smith's bag. And on top of it, just like almost put there as if the art director of some like skeezy movie, like oh gosh, like the basement of some movie or in some house in the movie Blow, is a pile of clothes, and those clothes are wrinkled and they're gross. But the specific clothes in which I am talking about are one nasty discarded sock gently placed next to some tan, discarded, very used panties. And that was number 3. That was number 3, my friend.
I mean,
it was
dude,
was like hands up in the air, like, okay, it's done. We gotta go.
Dude, I don't understand how you have this situation happen after an 11-hour goddamn drive.
Dude, like wit's end. It was like, okay, we're picking up the phone. Let's go. We gotta. We're going somewhere else tonight. It doesn't matter where, because it was like, here's my theory. Here's my one. What the fuck? That like unbelievable. The trifecta. We got the trifecta. And
I mean, it was almost like you were in a setup, like a prank show. Like, did you expect the fucking Impractical Jokers to come out and be like, "We got ya"?
No, I expected whoever was there 5 minutes before us to come out of one of the doors that were permanently locked downstairs that we couldn't open. Like, I was like, why is this door locked? And now I think it's because somebody was there.
Do you really think someone was there at the same time?
No, but I do think somebody was there very recently, because also the dishes were in the dishwasher. Like, they weren't put away. Maybe it was ran. I don't know. So here's my theory. I think the owner of the house has family or a friend that they let just kick it there. Why? I think it's like a second house. Like, a lot of people just get their Airbnb rental property and that's all it is, and then they have their own house. I think this person lets somebody kick it there. And I think we got this place like a little like last minute. I think that person was like, yo, dog, you got to go.
We got some paying customers coming in.
Yeah, you got to go tonight. They're going to be here forever. I can't miss this payment. And that person just left all their nastiness there and pieced out. Either left or were downstairs behind that closed locked door.
Trying to be as quiet as possible.
I don't know what was going on. And that is, side note, something you don't say to your family while you're in there and everybody's worried.
Wait, did you?
Oh!
Oh, God.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Did you tell them that? Did you say that?
Oh, wait, come here. Yeah, I did say that, and kind of like as a joking aside, and then they were like, oh, now we're worried. Come here. Tell me what I'm not supposed to forget.
What were you gonna say? Yeah, what were you gonna say? What was the other thing there?